Good. Greetings from Indianapolis. I just gave a keynote in front of 300 people. Can you believe that?
Nice. That is awesome. Good to hear that, things are getting back to the new normal.
Yep. Chiropractors. So all doctors, which is awesome.
Chiropractors. Hey, if chiropractors is somebody's lighthouse, love to see who's working chiropractors in the chat.
Hey,
But,
that's why I wasn't invited, wasn't it?
We were just sharing some wins, Dennis. We had a couple of wins. David sold some listings packages, and Ken's been with Vendasta for about a year, and he's closed some deals this week too. So
awesome. We closed $90,000 in the last 2 hours.
Way to go!
Stage, and more business for everyone else here, and a lot of it comes from high authority, and that's what we want to talk about today. And showing what are these components of high authority. And I'm going to share my deck here, share my screen.
Nice.
And you could see that actually just behind me is you want to see this awesome facility we're at? Check this out.
Yeah.
Tell me this is not the most beautiful location you've seen in a long time. Can you see this? Look at this. We're at the Scottish Rite Cathedral. There's a bunch of these rooms, but I'm coming over here because it's quieter. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep. Got your screen there.
So today we're talking about how to build social proof via high authority documents. And if you don't know what that means, then consider, what does it mean to have an agency where people come to you because they trust you, because of what you've done before, because you're teaching from example, because you have knowledge and you don't have to pretend that you can generate leads or that you can edit video or you can do everything. So let us know let us know in the chat, how many sessions have you been to? And if you've completed the items necessary, for example, for being a certified digital marketing agency. Let us know, where are you in your agency? 23, says Steven. That's almost all of them. Holy moly. Heather says lots, but not compete. JP, yeah, Bonnie's working on it. Gage, yep. Timothy, I love seeing your stuff pop up, especially your videos. When you guys are making your 1 minute and 15-second videos, locking myself in the basement, says Shelly, halfway. All right, Gretchen, for the first time. Okay, if you're here for the first time, you need to join an accountability group. So you have other agency owners that are keeping you accountable and who can help you. You can also use our Facebook group as well. But if you have not gone through season 1, I would encourage you to do that, because all of these sessions and exercises build upon everything else that we've learned here. But if you are new here, that's okay, you can still join, but you're gonna find that by going through these exercises in order and by signing up for one of the paid tiers of Vendasta, there's a free tier, but one of the paid tiers is gonna unlock all these other tools that make it easy for us to drive sales. And we think of Vendasta as our secret weapon. It is the platform that helps agencies white label services so that we can focus more on being able to service the clients in terms of the client relationship, and the mechanics of driving leads and doing reputation management and ranking in local is all handled by the platform. So you can focus on generating revenue and being awesome. Okay. If you are not a certified digital marketing agency, this is something that we are offering for free right now, where if you go through the training, complete all the exercises, then you will get this certificate, which will allow you to be in the partner directory, which we are still working on. The partner directory is how you're going to get access to these different leads. So if you say that chiropractors, for example, is your lighthouse, then you will have demonstrated that you have your 3x3 grid with 9+ videos, you have your site, you have the ability to do snapshot reports, you have done some work on other chiropractors through us or what you've already done. And thus we can comfortably give you leads for people that are chiropractors. Like we literally generated who knows, hundreds of leads today in this live event, right? Jordan Bowen is outside here filming chiropractors. And what's nice is that we are wiring him $20,000 in cash tomorrow morning because of what we made today at this event. And now he has to service these guys, right? And for all of them, we are running them on the Vendasta platform, which is fantastic. We could not have done that through Vendasta. In fact, I would almost call Jordan to come over here and be with us today, but he's out there closing deals, if you see back there. So I want to let him talk. He spoke from stage today. It was fantastic. In the same way, John Cordray is here with us in Indianapolis. And John Cordray has Glenn Vo, who is the lighthouse figurehead of dental. And the beauty is that we have a dozen Glenn Vos in a dozen different industries. And it doesn't mean there can only be one John Cordray or one Jordan Bowen. There are tens of thousands. So we can literally accommodate thousands and thousands of agency owners. And there's more business that we generated today than Jordan could even handle himself. So don't think that just because a couple other people are already in your vertical that there's not room. It's not like there's only one agency that can service real estate agents, right? I mean, how many real estate, anyone who's a mom is a real estate agent, right? So keep going. If you're working through these exercises, if you maybe have gotten distracted or you've been busy doing other things or you got discouraged, just keep going. I want to see you become a partner, because when you do, and there's no charge to become a partner, then you can not only close those leads, but you're going to be able to service those leads and they will give you recurring revenue. Okay? So of all the folks that are here, tell me, what is your biggest challenge right now? Let me know in the chat. Is it generating leads? Is it servicing clients? Is it finding people to hire? Is it knowing what to focus on, says Kathy? Leads, says Malcolm. Consistency, Kosi. Saying no to your family? Yeah, I totally know. Be careful about that, right? You are a professional. You don't just give out your services for free. You don't expect someone else who's a store owner or service provider to give out your stuff for free. If you're relatively new here, yeah, time management, says David, I understand you. That's why I'm literally here in Indy. You never know where I'm going to pop up, right? Could be in LA, could be in a basement somewhere, who knows? But I'm here for you guys, right? I should be out there networking, but you guys are a priority. You see that. We've been doing this every week. I've not missed a single week, and it's been 30 episodes or so. If you want to catch up on the previous sessions, these are here, you can see. There's the Snapshot Ninja training, which is created by George, who's the Chief Revenue Officer and Chief Customer Officer now at Vendasta. It's fantastic. The ability to talk through a snapshot is key, because then you're able to diagnose what's wrong with the business across 6 categories. And of course, there's products for each of those categories that you sign people up for, which is fantastic. There's our think tank, which also includes a Facebook group. And then there's Office Hours, which is a paid product at $99 a month, where on Wednesdays, you get access to me to handle Q&A. And if there are particular issues like optimizing ads or role playing, we will handle that in the Wednesday office hours, not in the Friday exercise-driven training, okay? You can still ask questions here, but it's gonna be better to ask those as part of office hours, so that way we can use the time here as best possible. Greg says, even though the business is okay, issue is me getting Facebook celebrity profile and doing things you've taught me to get out there. Facebook, what is this Facebook celebrity profile? Huh, Frank picked the lighthouse. Frank's gonna help teach. Frank is a humble agency owner, but he, as you'll see, is a real boss. So much so that when you get to the point that you're buying other companies, then you're doing pretty well. And it's not just you trying to lead for yourself. Facebook public figure page, says Angelica. Yeah, so just go to any Facebook page, and then in the top corner, you create a page and then choose public figure. Real estate with some value add training, fantastic. So today we're gonna talk about high authority documents. This is session 3 on a 3-part first module on high authority. So what does that mean? So when your documents are high authority, you're gonna close more deals because they know, like, and trust you. You're gonna be able to sell at a higher price. You're going to be able to spend less time filtering through people that aren't really sure what you do, because they will see it as an honor to be able to spend time with you, because that's inbound versus outbound. And it's also a necessary step to be able to systematize, because in order to push off to an execution team or an operations team, You need to have systems and processes which are driven by authority that comes from a checklist that's been followed over and over again. Authority, as we covered, I think 5 or 6 sessions ago, is in 3 categories. It's in who, in where, and in how. Because of who's saying it, because of where it's being said, and the how or what, which is the step-by-step method of how you're able to do it. I'll give you an example from 2 hours ago. This is our presentation that we just gave. I gave a TED-style talk talking about my background and how mentors were important and how being able to give back and honoring people who did this and how we say thank you to other folks, right, with dollar bills and socks and things like this. I'm showing authority all the while because of who I'm with. And the leader of this group here of chiropractors of the Black Diamond Club is Sean Dill. And how do I show authority? I bought him a popcorn machine, right? So you can see Sean is saying, wow, Dennis, thank you so much for a popcorn machine. And of course, everyone trusts him because he owns the group.
Surprised to see this awesome gift from our good friend, Dennis Yu. Hey, what's up, everybody?
See? So I'm building authority by showing close association because of who it's with, because where I'm showing it, because I'm showing it on stage in front of a bunch of people, and I'm demonstrating step by step how to actually say thank you and the gratitude I have. And it goes on and on and on. I tell lots of stories, how we train up VAs and how it changes people's lives. And as a result, we work with a number of different schools. We're there in the Philippines training people. There's Mark Wagner, who's been with me for 8 years now and is now an engineer. We were training up young adults with Jake Paul, right? And here's our thing where these young adults are becoming certified influencers, as you've seen. So here's a piece of what Jake has to say.
What is the mission of Financial Freedom Movement? I want to be able to inspire tens of thousands of kids to get active with their careers and their businesses and their entrepreneurship and their content and their personal branding, and give them a roadmap, the roadmap that I never had. And I made so many mistakes going through my career, and I wish there was, people or experts that I could just have watched and learned so much from, to eliminate all the mistakes that I was going to make along the way. I want to create a community, a network of people that are all striving towards the same goal, which is freedom and happiness. And that's a byproduct of being financially free. And so if we can create that network of people who are wanting to become successful, and businesses and companies that need help with marketing and promotion, and connect the two, it creates this ecosystem of people that are all just wanting the same thing and wanting to help each other grow and uplift each other. And there's thousands of kids out there who want to be successful, they just don't know how. And so if we can create that guide,
isn't that awesome?
then
that's
the
why
Bible.
Look at this. You can beat someone up with this. So here we are inspiring, saying, yeah, it's not just kids, not just young adults. I'm 45. I think I'm a young adult, right? And we're saying, hey, you're a chiropractor. Would you love to be able to create jobs in your local town by hiring people that have gone through our certification program? Wouldn't that be awesome? In the same way that we would say here for Conquer Local, if you're an agency owner, wouldn't it be awesome if you hired some VAs and young adults? So let's say you own a restaurant, and let's call it David Brown's Steakhouse. What's your favorite food, David? And he owns the restaurant, but he's not the waiter and he's not the cook. We hire these young adults as the waiters, and we hire the VAs as the cooks. And Vendasta has got the menu, if you will, right? And here's something that we made for one of our doctors. You might know Dr. Jordan, invalid token. What's going on there? And we showed, have you guys seen this? Here's one fun little thing. We'll give you the URL on this one. This is an interactive training that we are working on building. You guys will get access to it soon.
And a quick question for you. Are you a man or a woman? Just so I can help personalize this program for you. Just go ahead and click below.
Are you a man or a woman? I'm a man.
Great, so you're a man, so am I. My name's Alex. What's your name?
Yeah, what's my
Just
name?
let me know.
My name is Urban
Don't want to talk to a
Renstrom.
stranger. No.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. So quick question for you. Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to tone up? Or are you trying to gain muscle?
What am I trying to do? What are you trying to
Also, you
do?
make
What
this
should I put in
personal,
here?
You know?
Guys, tell me. David Ellis says muscle. Okay, got it.
Great, so you're a guy and you're trying to gain muscle. That's awesome. Are you trying to focus on your upper body, chest, shoulders, back, etc.? Or are you trying to focus on your lower body, building your legs, quads, hams, etc.? Just where you're trying to focus on specifically right now.
Yeah, guys, tell
Which
me.
one's more important for
Yeah, we got to choose one. Knee. Oh, that's not a choice. Knee's not a choice.
you? I got time.
Quads. Quads look like lower body to me. Okay, Urban says lower body. All right, lower body.
Great, so you're trying to gain muscle on your lower body. So build the quads, build the hamstrings, gain some size there. Absolutely understand. All you have to do is put your number in below, and I'm gonna text you information specifically about how our transformation program will help you gain that muscle in record time. So go ahead, put your number in below, and then I'm gonna ask you the most important question next. Go
Okay,
ahead.
fake number.
If you're watching this, then I know that you're committed to gaining muscle and getting swole. So the only and most important question that I have for you is, do you want to sit around and wait, or do you want to start getting results today? If you want to start getting results today, start putting on slabs of muscle and fast, go ahead and click the button below and we'll get you scheduled for a 15-minute, no pressure intro call so we can figure out the programming that's perfect for your goals to put that muscle on fast. So go ahead, click it, and promise we'll see you on the other side and you'll absolutely like it.
Okay,
And it will be
there it is. So there's the thing, right? You schedule a time. You guys understand how that works. So we're showing examples of how we're generating leads using interactive video, but we're also generating authority because people see that we are talking about things on CNN or speaking on stage or publishing a book or whatever it might be, and tying that into our topic wheel, as you guys learned in season 1, making videos from that topic wheel with other people that we know. Yeah, Kosi, this is conversational marketing. Guess what you need in a conversation? Someone else to talk to, and it must be interactive. Because if you're just talking to them, that's not conversational, that's lecturing, right? Lots of content that you react to in an automatic way. In email, if people answer a certain way, they click on a link, that's conversational because you're adjusting based on what they've done. So we're generating authority in all these different ways, and then at the end, we said, here's different things that we're producing. Oh, look, this is literally what I did 2 hours ago. I said, hey, first thing we're selling is a digital diagnostic report. We called it this for $1,000. 6 key factors in determining how your business is currently looking online and having a 20-minute report of the findings. Who can tell me what we're actually selling here? Tell me in the chat, what are we selling here? It's a snapshot report, that's right. Now, what does it cost us to run a snapshot report? $2, that's right. Or it's included in your plan depending on how many reports you get in the plan. And we are selling it for $1,000. How much profit is that? How much profit, every time we sell one of these, how much profit is that? It's pretty good. Is that a good profit margin, or is that like not enough profit? If they come in on $1,000 and we give them this snapshot report and we tell them what's going on with their business, right? But we didn't fix anything yet. And we say, well, here's 6 things we're looking at, right? And then we say, well, from there, we need to, do some PPC or some reputation management and some local listings and other things like that. And it's going to be however much, right? We say, oh, here's these other things. So we can give you reputation management listings, customer voice, social marketing. So these products here, pop quiz for everyone here. Where are these products coming from, and how much effort does it take us to service clients with these products? Yeah, it comes from Vendasta in the store, right? How much effort does it take for us to service customers that buy these products? None says, that's right, none. So that is pure profit. Isn't that nice? I know this price is higher, it's way higher than the suggested listing price because here we're building value. But we went on and added some of these other things like editing videos and whatnot. And then we said, hey, this thing is worth $8,700. And we've got lots of social proof. I've told some stories based on why, how, and what. I used the topic wheel. I showed who else we're with, including the people they trust, like Sean Dill, who's the #1 Chiro in this group, as you guys know. And we said, normally sell it for $6,000, but we're selling it for $2,500. But you have to buy it before the end of lunch today, which is just now. Isn't that awesome? And if we come over to my mail and we go look at orders, hopefully the Wi-Fi here is looking good. And I go look at our orders. Am I not in my right mail here? Oh, I'm in a different mail. Let me go to this other mail, this mail here. I got so many different emails, it's crazy. But just proof on what's happened just in the last couple hours. There, you can see my email. How often, have you ever seen anyone else show you their email? Look at this. Look at this, we just made 90 grand. Look at these orders, 2,500, 2,500, 20, just look at how many we're getting, order after order after order after order. And we're gonna get more by the end of today, okay? Because I know we said lunchtime, but people are still coming in because they're in between sessions and all that. You see this? You see all these guys? This happened just now. This is not some webinar from a long time ago. This happened just now, today, okay? I'm in the room that it just happened. Who would like to generate $100,000 of revenue just like that by giving a 60-minute presentation? Okay, so at this point, is anyone not sure about whether high authority documents are important or not? Is anyone unclear on the concept of high authority? Because if you don't, then everything we're going to talk about the rest of the day doesn't make any sense to you. It's not going to mean anything to you. Okay, so let me know, is this a hell yes in terms of, we're not just going to create documents. We're not just going to make random videos. We're not just going to do webinars. We need high authority documents, high authority timeline pictures, high authority landing pages, high authority everything. Yes? Hell yes? Give me a hell yes if you agree. I need to know. Because if it's not, then tell me, and I want to understand why. Oh, Dimitri, you do not need a large audience. And you do not need to do it on stage. You can do it in a webinar. I've made $100,000 in a webinar before too. Can it be done as an automated webinar? Absolutely. It can be done as a course. It can be done as a book. It can be done as an ebook. It can be done as a blog post that ranks in Google based on the Lighthouse, which is a way of consolidating SEO power. For those of you that do SEO, you understand the Lighthouse strategy is an SEO strategy too. Hell yes, Frank Caldwell, right? Okay. So do I need to, is anyone unclear on why it's important to have high authority documents of any sort? Video, audio, tweets, LinkedIn posts, like whatever, right? Yeah, same thing that many financial newsletters use. That's right. Agora is probably arguably the best one at doing this. Okay, so let's talk about what that means. First off, because we know authority comes in 3 different components, why, how, and what, or where, we like to have these guides. And these guides you can turn into books. You just register an ISBN number and publish on Amazon. And we publish these books either for free or not very much, because then potential customers, like we'll skin versions for dentists, we'll skin versions for mortgage brokers with the figurehead that we put on them. Like here we did one for the Better Business Bureau. Isn't this cool? Like how many times do you see people teach from their direct example? I don't see people doing this. Like here, if I go to Finder and new window, like we did this thing for the BBB just recently, and we took our 1-minute video course, we took $1 a day, we took all these things like, personal branding. So we took our personal branding guide and we skinned it for the Better Business Bureau. And here's the guy, Jeff Niebaum. And here we're talking to all of the accredited Better Business Bureau members. And after all, if you're in the Better Business Bureau, then you probably know who this guy is because you see all the stuff from him. Meanwhile, it's our same stuff reskinned. And then we're showing pictures of Jeff. And we have all these, our VAs are going out and grabbing pictures of Jeff and putting it in there. Like there's him, what is he, like water skiing or something, right? Yeah, Rishan says no one does this. And so we're teaching together with Jeff on how if you're an accredited member of the BBB, you need to do this. Now, what happens when Jeff and I are teaching this webinar to tons of BBB members. Let me know in the chat, what is the value of this and how does this tie into authority in a particular niche or lighthouse? Why is this important? Because they want in. Why do they want in? And why is it high value to this, Stephen? Carlos, yeah, it looks legit. So Carlos, why does that look legit? Who wants to unmute themselves and talk about why this is important? It's your reputation. Builds trust. Is it my reputation or is it their reputation? Isn't it ironic that the Better Business Bureau is about building trust and they're conferring their trust to us? That's right, Nate, it's perceived authority. So here we've skinned all the documents as BBB, and that's not just that one, but we have all these other ones. Like here's our 1-minute video course, skinned for the Better Business Bureau, right? Hey, the BBB is recommending that, and there's the videos that we're putting out there. They put it to their newsletter, they post it on Facebook, they post on Instagram. And so it's being promoted by the Better Business Bureau. We have incepted them. We have Trojan horsed them. You guys follow me? You see how authority that's conveyed through someone else's brand is really where the power of this comes from. So these guides by themselves, arguably they are correct and these processes work and they are powerful. That's right, Rishan. It's that we are skinning it and making it relevant to those audiences. And by the way, if you go to themasterpresentation.com, you can purchase this for $664 if you use the coupon code We Love Dennis. That includes things like our design guide, all these documents, right? You can create your own. You can try to grab some of the stuff that we have out there, these templates and whatnot, but we're updating them all the time. So if you buy it at themasterpresentation.com, you will get updates indefinitely. But if you're just cheap about it, just grab the stuff that we post here and there and try to make sense of it, right? Office hours, as we talked about, is how we're going to continue to be there to support you as your team that complements the items here in the master presentation. You don't have to have all these items to be a successful agency. In the same way that if you're a mechanic, you don't have to have every single tool in the box, but we would recommend that you get as many of these as you can. Yeah, Frank, thank you for buying it. Frank has been a client of ours, and we also greatly admire Frank because we've hung out in person many times. We're not just Facebook friends. We've taught together in different locations all across the US. So thank you, Frank. He's getting a hard copy of it too. So high authority video. What is high authority video? It's not just videos that you were making for them or videos that you're making to generate leads. It's also in how you present these videos. So it's like the steakhouse we went to is the fanciest steakhouse in Indianapolis. And I think I ordered last night what is the thing called, like the porterhouse for $62 or something like that. And it was in a nice environment, but can you imagine if I got it to go and they gave it to me in a paper bag, a $62 steak, right? That would just not be very cool. But here we've got these videos from Dr. Mike that our VAs have edited. And you can see this is a nice looking environment. It's Blitz. And then I can come through and look at any one of these. Yeah, John showed some amazing food photos. And here it's easy for the client to be able to comment. So here we could play one of these videos. Now this is a tool, I think you got to pay 10 or 15 bucks a month per user. There's lots of tools like this. I'm not promoting this tool, but I just want to show you how this is way better than delivering food in a paper bag. This is like having it in a silver platter. You can see this.
One rule of thumb is that you want to try to drink half your body weight in ounces a day. Hey everyone, Dr. DeCubel's here from Main Street Chiropractic. One thing I wanted to make sure that everyone's kind of aware of and everyone really...
Okay, so here I'll say get rid of kind of aware of, because it's not very clear. We want to cut that stuff, right? So I'm just leaving that comment. Now everyone here can see it. And I can just comment right here. I didn't reply in Basecamp or whatnot, but when I use these I'm using frame.io, but there's lots of tools. I don't want you to get hung up on the tools. I want you to understand the idea. When we have these tools, and it can be all the tools that are in Vendasta, like I was showing you, or tools like this, then it's creating a perceived barrier for them to try to do this themselves. Because when they see that we're using these different tools, and we're not doing it to try to create the barrier, it just happens to be that in the execution of getting stuff done and them seeing we're using these different tools helps them think like, oh man, I wouldn't try to do this by myself, right? Look at all, this is just too complicated. I might mess it up, right? You guys follow me on that? Because you might even be thinking yourself that this is difficult to do, right? You might think like, oh, I would just rather trust, Dennis and his team to build it. It's the same way with the small businesses that you have, these local businesses. Here's another one of Matthew Janusek, right? This guy is a fitness guy and he's not a tech guy.
I'm the co-founder of Escape Fitness. I want to help you develop a great functional training experience. Number one is having a clear vision. It's a simple thing, but where are you going and why?
Do you want to attract high-end clients or do you want to make a lot of money? Pick, let me know.
High-end clients.
High-end clients, Bonnie. All right, let's do high-end clients.
That's going to have a big impact on the design, the look, the feel, the colors, the equipment. Who's this space for? Is it for someone like my mom? Is it for my younger brother?
So he goes on and on, right? Oh, shoot, he had another question pop up. Well, anyway, I'm showing things that they clearly won't know how to do. Does anyone here, tell me, do you know how to make interactive videos, for example? Yes or no?
Yes.
You do? You're rare. You're
Yes.
special. But most people are going to say no, right? And Eric's learning how to do it too. And so we're creating more perceived authority because we're doing stuff that they don't know how to do. So now if you take all these other authority items, the case study, the speaker reel, remember I showed you the case study of the Warriors or of, I think, Six Flags or other folks. I don't know which case studies I've shown you, Jack Daniels, Nike. You have a speaker reel, you have a timeline cover, you have an overview of your package like I showed you, you have a course, you have a book, right? Oh, here's the Warriors. Yeah, I'll show you. We even published a guide on how we do this for the sign-in. Oh, I don't even remember what. Let's see if I can get in here. Why did we hide it behind this thing? That's weird. But here's a document. I don't want this. Get me out of here. Here we go. Here's a case study. Oh, you know what this is? This is one from Facebook. This is the case study that we made together with Facebook. Yeah, I know. Here's Naveed. Naveed has done the case studies with us. So this is a case study that Facebook came to us and said, hey, let's do a case study on the Warriors. And look at what they're asking for. Because when you do a case study, you want to do the same kind of thing. So what's the summary? What are some of the key stats? What are the other components that are part of this? Pull quote. I don't really like doing pull quotes, but okay, fine, right? And then this turns into an article, has some pictures and things like that with it, right? Isn't that awesome? And by the way, you don't have to wait for Facebook to reach out to you for a case study. You could just go ahead and make your own on anything you've done successfully interviewing the client, right? And what is this? The social dashboard, Steph Curry analysis, Golden State Warriors Facebook ads guide. So we interview the folks at the Warriors and publish this thing together. Here it is. Here's how we did it. Here's the quote from the VP of marketing and from the head of digital initiatives. And here's how we literally do it. And it's the 6-phase SAE, social amplification engine. You guys know that, right? See, and here it is, screenshots, step by step. Here's how we made the ads. Here's how we label things, like the naming conventions. We organize our videos. Have you seen anyone else ever do this at this level of detail inside their ads? No, says Timothy Dunn. And this is with their permission too. This is where we're interviewing them. There's a video that accompanies how we do all this. Isn't that awesome? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't this high authority? This is a high authority document, yeah? And then you got Facebook and the American Marketing Association and other folks promoting it, which is great, right? Andrew, if you could mute everyone except for me. Here's one with Six Flags. So you guys know Six Flags, they're an amusement park. It's actually open in Texas, believe it or not. Isn't that neat? Now, this is something that we made back in 2013 before there was a snapshot report. And we took all the location, oh, here. So who have we done analysis for or run ads for? All these guys, companies you've heard of, right? And where have we been quoted in the media? Lots of places. So start to assemble this. Put it in the beginning of any one of your marketing materials. So who here thinks that having something like this in your marketing materials in one of the first few pages builds authority, builds a higher close, builds a higher average sales price? Yes? Ling says yes, big time. Okay. So do you have something like this that you put in your marketing materials so that people know that you are trustworthy instead of like, who is Allison, right? I don't know who Allison or Tom Pastor is, right? Do you have something like this? Russell says not as extensive. Well, if it's only one or two things, it's fine, right? You don't need a ton of things. You just need to have some of these. And if you just need to pull out of your LinkedIn recommendations, then from your previous teachers or employers, fine, it's something, right? Then what do? We show them how Six Flags is doing, benchmarked against other amusement parks, looking at whether they've claimed their properties, looking at how they're doing on these different channels. And do you think that an analysis like this, well, let me put it this way. So if we charge them 20 grand for an analysis like this, now I'm not saying you have to approach only the big dogs, okay? It can be the local chiropractor. But an example here where you need, the bigger the name you're selling, the higher the authority has to be, yeah? Amen? So if you're selling something like this for Six Flags and they have, I don't know, 15 properties or something like that, it's only like $1,000 and change per property, and you're showing them what's going on. How much money or how much effort do you think it costs us to do this across, how many properties do they have? Let's say it's 15 properties. We're doing all this analysis on their SEO and how fast the website loads and all that. How much money would it cost us to run this analysis through Vendasta if they have 15 properties? And arguably, Vendasta can do it a lot better than we could back then. How much money would it cost us to do it on 15 properties? $30. Not bad. Yep, that's right, Tim. $2 per property. And if we're charging 20 grand, what is our profit on this? Do you think it's good? Is it a good profit? Cost us $30 and we charge 20 grand? That's not bad, huh? How many of these $20,000 clients do you need per year to be happy? How many? 1, 5, 10? Even if you do nothing else but sell these audits for 20 grand, 12 of them. Kathy wants 10, so that's $200,000. Heather says 5. So most of these, if you say 5, you're looking at 100 grand a year, right? That's not bad, 100 grand. Of course, you have costs too, beyond just $2 a snapshot report, because why? You have to spend money to generate authority. You have to be able to maybe hire some other people. So here's one we did for Harbor Hotels. Oh, I can't open this. Why not? Probably I'm logged into the wrong thing. But when you invest in building authority, Steve and Arthur, 100. So that's a lot of money. Okay. So when you invest in building a book or a Facebook group or a speaker reel, or you interview other people because you don't have any authority, so you decide to interview Andrew Carson on how do you build a community, right? And then you take snippets.
I want to show you how it actually works to use Facebook for inception.
Joining us now on set, an industry insider and expert. Good to have you with us to give some context to all of this.
We're showing you that there are fundamental techniques behind how does Facebook decide what shows up. And you don't have to be a statistics expert. You can just click on a few buttons and the system will do the work for you. In fact, I was speaking at a conference in San Francisco and the guy from Sears said, when you did that dollar a day thing, we had to change our whole policy because of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't get excited this often, but when I do, it's because Dennis Yu.
Dennis Yu is the master of personal branding on Facebook and LinkedIn.
I see. He's the top, the #1 Facebook ads expert. He manages millions of dollars of major brands' ad campaigns.
We're going to show you a few examples of how that's done, and then we're going to go step by step so that you can do that same thing too.
Dennis Yu is an amazing person. If you are not familiar with the work of Dennis, the kinds of things that he is doing to help move this industry forward are the things that we need more of in this world.
It's about that gradual sequencing over time, but you need a system to do it, and that's what we're sharing with you guys. I've done digital marketing since the beginning for 20 years. This is the most valuable tip I have ever seen. Don't forget the basics. 1-minute videos, $1 a day, content library. Suspend disbelief, try it. Just try it.
That was at the Vendasta conference. This is from Austin when we had VendastaCon. It was like 3 years ago or something like that. Hey, say hi to John. John Cordray.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, tell everyone what happened today. What do you think of today?
Oh man, today was pretty awesome. Dennis was up there presenting. I was in the back trying to follow him on his presentation. It went great. how many people, lots of people signed up to do the 1-minute videos, and that's what we're doing the rest of the day.
Can you do me a favor and get me the power?
Yeah.
Rick Mark's got that. I'm running out of
Yeah,
power.
there.
All right. See, there you go. And he brought me a water too, because he can see I'm thirsty. My goodness. Yeah. So we're about to do this with Glenn Vo, who's much bigger. This is kind of our trial to pull in 100K today. I think with Glenn, we're going to do a couple million. A lot of room for dentists. By the way, if you haven't chosen your lighthouse, I would recommend dentists. That's a pretty good one. Dentists in Cairo and mortgage and real estate, those are all really good ones. But it could be whatever. It could be B2B even. So think about, what we saw here, this speaker reel, tell me what components of authority did you see in it? And why do you think we chose those particular items? And if you want, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me know, what do you think about this? And I'm not doing this to boast. I just want you to show what is it that drives authority? I'm gonna get that power break or plug in. What is that? Let me know.
I'll take a gander.
Yep.
So we had the what they were saying, where they were saying it, and who was saying it. Is that correct?
That's right. So who of those folks did you recognize? Now, what I was going after in that particular one, it's a trick question. I was going after the top people in digital marketing. So who are some of the people so if you think of digital marketing, who are the top people, top brands, top conferences that you think of?
So Billy.
Digital marketer.
Yep, digital marketer.
Digital marketer, Billie Jean, Marie Smith.
Yep, Brian Dice. So we got ones with Brian Dice. So do you see how what I'm doing is building inception in the world of digital marketing? So you name it, the top people in digital marketing, I've made sure my lighthouse incorporates them in some way, right? So think about, for your lighthouse, who are the people that need to be here? And it doesn't mean you need to have all of them. Don't think that it means that, oh, well, Dennis said that you need to have, this kind of reputation to be able to do this. You do not have to do that. It could be as simple as you choose chiropractors, and then you've got lots of these videos with chiropractors, right? On and on with these chiropractors. And that way, when we show all these pieces of footage of what we've been doing with chiropractors, well, here's another one. So I taught a digital marketer a month ago, July 2nd. Yeah, it was a month ago in Austin. We had this Corona quarantine kind of thing going on. And this is the actual footage, right? You can see it's plugged in. I'm getting power, good. Now this is broadcast on their channels. This is for certified partners that I think they pay 10 grand to come in. It's a lot cheaper than what you're paying for this one, which is $0. And
hello, and
you can see, like, we're teaching here, right?
Graphic, it's great in a simple way, even if you've got your regular job. And
so we're teaching 10 ways on how to build authoritative content, right? How to build, yeah, it's correct. 10 grand per year, is that what it is? I'm an instructor, so I get in for free. Isn't that right, John?
That's right.
Say hi to John.
Hey guys.
So based on what you saw today, John, what you saw Jordan Bowen, who we're cutting a check for $20,000 to because of what happened today.
Yeah.
What does that mean for your business as a partner?
Well, I think I can do, what it means is the sky is unlimited, right? With Dr. Vo has a lot of other dentists that follow him, and it just opens up opportunity like no other. Didn't really understand that fully until today.
Okay, so explain that, because you had no dentist. You chose dentists as a client.
I did.
But you didn't have any dentists.
Right.
Now I would argue that you have a lot of authority now.
Yeah, because what we did in Dallas.
Okay.
People see me with Dr. Vo, that perceived authority. The perceived authority is I'm with you and with Dennis, or I'm sorry, with Dr. Vo. So the two of you're with the digital marketing, Dr. Vo's with the dentist. I'm in the middle, bringing the two together, and that's going to give me incredible authority.
But you've never worked on doing leads for dentists before.
Right.
Now, does that present a problem that John chose dentists pull up that chair, that John chose dentists as a lighthouse, but he's never worked on dentists before? How do you think it feels where John is pitching a dentist, let's say, he cold calls a dentist saying, hey, would you like to get more patients? And then the doctor says, so tell me about some of the other dentists that you've done that for. How do you feel about that?
Well, if it wasn't for being able to meet with Dr. Vo, I'm able now to say I'm doing a project for Dr. Vo.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you work with Dr. Vo?
Uh-huh.
Oh. And that opens up a lot more opportunity.
Yeah. And then when you've built your authority because of your association with Dr. Vo, who the dentists know who he is because he's the lighthouse, and you say, hey, well, what do you recommend next? What's the next step after they have a conversation with you, or the initial first touch, and you built a high authority first touch?
Yeah, so that initial touch is really important. Yeah. So I usually try to do about 15-minute call.
Okay.
Where we're talking about what their goal is. And so my initial, and I learned this from Dr. Vo, actually. And this happened about 3 weeks ago. I had a dentist just reach out of the blue, and they wanted to meet with me. And I thought, oh,
out of the blue, they reached out to him. Yeah. He didn't go cold call them. You see that?
Exactly. And I was thinking, all right, so what's my first step? And I remember when we met with Dr. Vo in Dallas, when we filmed the course, Dr. Vo said, if you need anything, let me know. And so I was able to call Dr. Vo and say, hey, I had this dentist. What should be my first step? And he said, as your first step, do that first 15 minutes where you're just listening. So I'm not pitching during that time. I'm listening. I'm learning what their goals are. What do they want to do? And in that 15 minutes, and I try to keep it very right at the 15-minute mark, because one of the things that Dr. Vo said when he was on Conquer Local, dentists are busy.
Yeah.
And if you say 15 minutes, you got to keep it at 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I remembered that. And then during that 15 minutes, I was able to talk about the next step. So I listened for those 15 minutes. She told me what her goals were, what she wanted to do, what she wanted to accomplish. And then I was able to say, and the next step is Power Hour, or the next step is this package that we have available.
Yeah, or it could be a snapshot report, or it could be any combination. Sometimes they're not quite ready. So just get them on a $197 or $397 or $1,000 snapshot report. And a snapshot report, like if you hire a carpenter to build a dollhouse in your backyard, right? How much does it cost in nails and hammers and things to build that? Versus what does it cost to have, or if you, maybe to use the food analogy, because I love to eat. So you go to a fine French bakery and you want to get some croissants, right? How much does it cost in butter and dough and flour or whatever to make the croissants? Not much, but they charge you maybe $5 for that croissant, but maybe what, like 20 cents in ingredients? And that's the way I look at it. Because if you have the ingredients, what's the difference between those ingredients for 20 cents and the $5 croissant? Where's that extra $4.80? Tell me in the chat, where's that coming from? Expertise, says Michael. Perceived authority, ding, ding, ding. Eric, you win. So John can be using the same tools that the rest of us are using. And potentially all the other folks that are going after dentists could be using Vendasta too.
Sure.
But why would someone choose to work with John if they're a dentist? Not just out of convenience. Why? What is the topic of today's session? It is true trust, says Heather. High authority, yep. We're doing part 3 of 3 in high authority. And these are about high authority documents. So look at what John did with Dr. Vo. Now you see we've got all these videos, right? And John is there behind the scenes helping film it, helping organize it. And we've got a lot of B-roll. We've got a ton of this stuff. And a lot of these still need to be edited, of course, including ones that I don't think are in this one. We have like a mini course in here. Look at this. This is the stuff that I think we did in
You got to look
Local.
at who your target audience is. I'm a practicing dentist. Most dentists got to go to school 8 years. We have to go through a series of interviews where we have to really look our best, dress up, have like a professional kind of like persona. And we have to go through all those interviews to be.
Okay, so we can take these things, and John made some videos honoring Dr. Vo. You guys made some videos honoring Dr. Vo, hopefully. And then what we do is our video editors will take the splice of things that are in here that we've learned from Dr. Vo, plus what we have to say about it, and then we will share it from Facebook and LinkedIn honoring Dr. Vo. Honoring John. You'll see some posts where I've honored John. What happens, Conquer Local friends, when we honor other people? Let me know in the chat. What happens when we honor other people? We create more authority, right? Absolutely. And the funny thing is that by saying, yep, authority, see, you guys get it. You guys know today's topic is authority. So when we build that authority and they share it, that's right, reciprocation. Now all of a sudden, Dr. Vo is like, who's not going to want to share a compliment? Now when Dr. Vo is sharing what Glenn has to say, what happens? Then they like, oh, wow, Dr. Vo is vouching for this guy. That means I can probably trust him. Right. So then you don't have to, John doesn't have to fight uphill to be able to generate leads. He doesn't have to, then it's not like, who's this John guy? I wonder if he's any good or not, right? Do you see how authority is closing the gap between the 20 cents in ingredients and the $5 for the croissant? The $2 snapshot report and the $1,000 consultation. You guys see what I'm talking about here? You see what closes that gap? Do you see how authority is not just some nebulous, like, oh, I'm speaking on stage, I have authority, I have a personal brand, I have a Lamborghini, that must mean I'm rich and successful. No. Do you see how authority is measurable? So let's say, let me just ask it another way in case this isn't obvious. Hopefully it should be. Hopefully this whole, but sometimes people are just, they don't believe it. Now, if I were to sell from stage today, as you saw me sell from stage, and I didn't use any authority, how much in sales do you think I would have driven?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. It'd be like, who's this guy, right? Who's this guy trying to sell this expensive thing? Like, yeah. Why do I even, like, I don't even identify with him. And, you know, I don't, like, why now he's trying to ask for my money and all this, right? So we put together these packages. We understand that when we go to an event, there are things that we do. So we're at an event right now. We're literally in Indianapolis. Look, we're at an event, right? You can tell we're like in this kitchen or something. Look, there's like these trays like where they get their dinner ready, and there's these kitchen things. I don't even know what these kitchen things are, right? I think this is like where the catering people, they get the food together before they bring it out or something. I don't know, right? You can tell, like, I don't even understand how this works. There's like chairs and stuff in this back room. But we know what to do at events to be able to generate authority. And John knows. We had a lot of prep for this, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
A lot.
Yeah, but people, they see the exciting moment on stage. But man, there's a lot of stuff we got to do. And we have to produce videos behind the scenes. We have to interview other people. We have to generate things of proof with these other figureheads, right? So it really does pay to assemble these items of authority. And the thing is that these are investments. You've got to be able to put these items together, and they don't necessarily drive immediate sales. It's not like, oh, this is a timeline video that we made for Welton Hong, who's our funeral guy, right? And here it is. Now he's an in-demand speaker. He's still doing webinars and stuff, which is great, right? Look at this. So So that might be nice. That's actually not a very high authority one. This is one that's not done yet. We need to choose one that's better than that. Or maybe that's all he has. Okay, fine, right? I know he has more than that. So this we see as an investment, but if you don't couple that with the rest of your content, with 1-minute videos, with boosting it, you're not gonna drive the inbound. So everything we're talking about here is planting seeds to grow tomatoes as opposed to just going to Whole Foods and buying tomatoes. Okay, this is an investment. So question for you. Of all the components of a content library, which of these is the one that you are going to focus on next? Let me know in the chat. So you've seen us teach by example. 3x3 videos, 1-minute video. 1-minute video, okay. Yeah, the 3x3 grid, which is ultimately how you're gonna drive good sales. You wanna drive good customers. You don't wanna just drive random customers that refund on you. You want good customers. Why? Because they respect authority and they respect someone who's a pro and they're willing to pay for a pro, okay? Because imagine if I just went up on stage, let's say that I gave the same presentation and at the end I sold the snapshot report for $2. I said, hey, anyone who wants to buy this thing, $2. Do you think I'd drive more in sales? I mean, it's only $2 instead of $1,000 or whatever it is, right? I mean, it's a better deal at $2, isn't it? But what do you think those people are thinking if they see us selling the thing for $2? And then all the different Vendasta things we're white labeling, which I think we said cost us $80 a month. for those 5 or 6 things there. Someone did the math and it was like $80 or $90, but instead we're marking it up to like $250 a month or something like that, right? That's right, Dimitri, it must not be worth it. I mean, if you were to go to a heart surgeon, and in the US, they might charge you $250,000, right? But then you go to this other guy and they're like, hey, I'll do the heart surgery for $99.
Weekend special.
That's right, buy 2, get 1 free. Money back guarantee if you die, right? It's a money back guarantee, right? It's great. If you die, just bring in your death certificate, we'll give you the $99 back.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, what do you got to lose? YOLO, right? You're right, they wouldn't have bought it. So tell me, is this ironic that the higher the price is, now don't misinterpret what I'm saying, but the higher the price is, the more you attract a better customer, the more money you're making, the more you can invest in doing a good job, the fewer clients that you need, and the more on the path you are to having a lighthouse and generating high authority content in the process. Do you see what I'm saying? High authority lets you charge high prices, not because you're ripping people off, not because you feel like you need to like make up for all the ones you didn't get, or because you need money so bad, you need this one client to cover everything. That's not what I'm saying. But it's about the perception of authority, and it's the delivery of the results, which is the actual authority, right? Which then allows you to run through your content library, influence generator, collecting mentions, video editing, right? So here are the 5 parts of content operations. Here's the places that you can place the high authority content. When you put it all together, you have input and you have output. Think of your PBM as a filing cabinet, your personal brand manager as where you're organizing everything. And there's all these inputs on where it's coming from. So we understand how to gather mentions. We understand how to say thank you. We understand how to capture B-roll, go on Zoom calls, all the ways you might produce it, monitor Twitter. Like I could literally come over here and go to my Twitter. I've not been to Twitter since this morning. Let's just go look. Let's just see what's going on. Twitter. See what's here. Twitter, okay. Here, these people are tweeting me. This, okay. Here's other people sharing an article. Vendasta, oh, thank you, Vendasta. The key, oh, I've got coronavirus, I just coughed.
Oh, thanks, now I have it too.
Taking the first step towards building perceived authority can be tough. Thank you, Anchor, for building this article, that's good. Who's this one? Facebook Audience Insights, that's great. So, wow. What I've learned after giving over 730 professional speeches, look, there's the badges from, I used to collect boarding passes. Like the first 50 times I flew, I collected the boarding passes to all the places I've been to. And after I flew the first 1,000,000 miles, I'm like, now I've flown 5 million miles. So it's like, okay, whatever. It's like toilet paper. I don't even care, right? But there's all these people that are sharing and they're commenting, and you got to be collecting these things. Like, are you collecting these? Let me know, like in the chat, are you getting this stuff? Like literally, look at these notifications that I'm getting, because I've not been to LinkedIn for a couple hours now. And there's these people that are saying awesome things, right? And let's see, messages, people are sending messages, the money's in the DMs. What's this guy? Hello, Dennis, we met through Alex Pelez, where you're at Hofstra, which is a university that we teach at. I saw you presenting information that was at least 5 to 10 years ahead of the pack. Wow, that's pretty cool. So I'd say, thank you, Keith. Oops, I can't even spell his name right. And then I'll come back and say something more specific. What's this one, Scott Randolph? This came in just now. I have someone I'd like to connect, a former client of mine, we did web dev. He needs some help in this and this, really needs some fresh ideas. The site's this, look like someone you'd be interested in talking to, Whole Tones. I don't know, who's this, Whole Tones? Who the heck is Whole Tones? Welcome to Whole Tones, Healing Frequency Music Project. Oh, that's weird. Is this like a holistic thing where there's like crystals and colored lights and $20 off this platinum package? So I'm not interested in this because it's not a lighthouse, but is this something maybe one of you guys like Ling So would be interested in? That I could refer you to? Yeah, you know Whole Tones, says Elaine. Ling knows Whole Tones. So I could give less of a crap about Whole Tones. It might be a great product, but I don't know who they are because it's not in my lighthouse, but I bet you for one of you guys it is. All right, so we're literally just going through my LinkedIn. Oh, look, I'm getting these connection requests on LinkedIn. Okay, this guy, I am Abdul Kadir. Yeah, I don't think so. Hi, are you hiring developers? No. A student? Sure. Fiverr, Bruce Clay? Oh, okay, Bruce Clay is the guy who invented the term search engine optimization 23 years ago. In this post-COVID world, I'm expanding my LinkedIn network. I don't think so. right? So I'm not doing this to show off. I'm doing this to demonstrate that because we produce content and we collect mentions and we edit it and redistribute in these other areas, we're generating a ton of leads that I don't even service. I'm not even responding to most of these people. So if anybody is starving for leads, this is what you guys need to do. And the volume of leads that I'm getting is insane. I can't service them. So think about what this means for you. Where are you? So one more exercise and we'll wrap it up and then talk about what happens next week. Where are you in this process of building your value ladder? Do you guys know what a value ladder is? Yes? Does anyone not know what a value ladder is? Say no. Or yes. If the answer is yes, I just want to know like kind of where you are. Yes or no? Sort of?
Yes.
Yes. Of course, Bonnie knows all our content. Okay. Yes. Okay. So no. Okay. Don't have one yet. Okay. So real quick, a value ladder is you're producing free, ungated content, meaning you're just posting it, usually through social networks, that lead to a lead magnet, which is free content still, but you need an email address. They need to give you an email address to get access to it. And a tripwire is something that's real cheap, like $7, super high value, super cheap, so that people think like, wow, this is incredible. The point of a tripwire, which is also called a self-liquidating offer, is it generates so much value. People are like, wow. And then they're willing to buy your course or package. The price of a tripwire, I say twipwire, putty cat.
That's fast.
Yeah. Peter Piper peck to peck is to cover the cost of your marketing. So whatever you're spending in advertising and marketing, the tripwire should cover it so that you're basically generating leads for free. Because from the tripwire, which is revenue neutral, you're able to sell all these other items that you have, right? That's where if you're doing a snapshot report, which you can call a power hour or an audit or an MRI or whatever it is relevant to your lighthouse, that allows you to recoup your advertising and marketing costs so that everything else you have after that is free. Or it's free lead gen, so it's all profit after that, right? And we like to say that a course is a package. So whatever package you have, just build a course around it, which can literally be a 1-hour webinar that you cut into pieces like you've seen me do, right? And then you have other partners and whatnot. Twipwire, putty taw, I taught a putty cat. It depends where you are in your journey. I am just starting with no money and no leads. So Dimitri, I get that, right? Sometimes it takes money to make money. And look, I get hate from other agencies that say, well, it's easy for you to generate leads because you have this whole team and you have, you have all this content and whatever. No, John started without any of this. Look where he is. He's freaking sitting right next to me in Indy. He's not a hologram, he's real, right next to me. I'm gonna show you some deep fakes next week if we can get this thing done properly, right? Yes, we are recording this meeting. So start filling out these things and you don't have to fill all of them out to yell bingo. You just need a couple items, a few pieces of content, maybe a 1-minute video about what you learned today. We're almost done, Andrew. I know you're getting antsy. Things that you want to put together. I won't copy or talk about this yet, but this is some powerful stuff. Let's summarize. High authority documents help you at every stage of the way to drive inbound, to make it easy for you to templatize, to sell more and sell easily, bring in the right clients, close them. Also, discourage the people that you don't want. We call them free retards, which I know is offensive, but that is the word Bruce Clay and I would use. And thus, when you build these assets through video, you can recycle them, like the Glenvo thing or the Jake Paul thing, because we have behind the scenes, which generates more trust than the direct stuff. So the behind the scenes of digital marketer, the behind the scenes with Jake Paul, the behind the scenes that we collected today in Indianapolis is more power than the actual onstage content. You guys know why? Why is that shaky cell phone video stuff more powerful? It converts more leads, it drives us more revenue than the pretty polished on stage, from the TV camera, because it's authentic, because it's raw, it's non-ads that head looks real. That's right, it looks real. So don't go Blair Witch. Oh, Dennis said go Blair Witch. No, I didn't say that, right? But you're gonna recycle this into your content library, build your value ladder. And my hope is that whenever you're creating content of any type, you're always thinking, how do I build authority out of this, right? It's like when you say purple cow, now you're always thinking about purple cow. If you build authority in this right way, you don't need to have all of it. So don't think, oh, now Dennis is making me do all this work and I don't have any money, your time is just me. Okay, start with something. Start with a little bit. Now, I'm showing you all these things because we have some folks here, like Frank Cowell. Frank is here. Frank, are you still here? Frank is awesome. If Frank is here, say hey. Frank has a multi-million-dollar agency. He has several multi-million-dollar agencies that he's merged, and it still applies to him, okay? If this works for Frank, it'll work for Bonnie. It'll work for Mr. Bohr. It'll work for Kosi. It'll work for all you guys. And to Dimitri's question, yeah, you can build courses from your documents. You can go from blog posts into courses, into packages back into webinars, back, like you can go between any of these other ones, okay? When you start to build high authority content, you can link it together in your content library, and that will help you land $1 million client. Now, maybe you're thinking, I'm not ready for $1 million client right now, because if I bring on a Red Bull, I wouldn't even know what to do, because then Red Bull's gonna have all these different meetings. I'm just one person, and I'm gonna quickly be out of my depth, and they'll bring in all these other people that are gonna ask me questions in their area of expertise that I just won't be able to answer. They'll bring on their SEO person, their video production person, their brand person, their PR person, and then each of them are gonna eat me alive because they're gonna realize I don't know enough. Well, that's why you need a partner. That's why you need to be in an accountability group. That's why you need a Glenn Vo. Like, that's why John, do you think John is gonna BS his way through with the dentist if he doesn't know what he's talking about? No, he's got a lifeline to Glenn Vo.
Absolutely.
You can call me too, right? So closing $1 million client starts from high authority content, starts from a killer process, starts from the other components that we're talking about. Yes, get in the accountability. It's intimidating, Heather, it is. But do you think I was intimidated today on stage? Why not?
You've done it 100 times.
Yeah, are you intimidated about being able to bring a spoon to your mouth to eat soup? No, because you've done it enough times.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, exactly. It's driving a car, it's unconscious at that point. Next week, we're gonna talk about the $1 million client. It's like chewing gum, that's right. All right, Andrew, we have time for a couple questions. So we're officially done with this segment of teaching. Hopefully you guys will show up for the $1 million client, which is a 3-part series. I wanna know, what do you guys think? If you need to leave, that's cool.
Yeah,
But
let's do a question or two. You know, keep in mind that there are the office hours with Dennis, so take advantage of that. But love to hear from the group. Would love, 1 or 2 comments or questions. I really love getting the discussion, and who might have something that they want to share with the group here?
Yeah, there's no way I'm leaving early.
I have a question.
Yeah.
From a starting point where you don't really have any high authority friends or connections, or you've never been on the news or anything like that, how do you kind of take that first step towards building that authority?
So Oliver, you should interview John.
Okay. Can we set a time? I'll DM you.
Interview these other people. Interview anyone else here who seems like they know what they're talking about. Interview Tim Dunn, who I met in person in New York City, and he came up to me afterwards, right? He knows a little something about digital marketing. Look, we have Anchor here. My goodness. Interview Anchor about how do you create a great blog post from a webinar. Interview people on something that they have done, not just like theoretically, because if you follow Learn, Do, Teach, you want to interview someone on a repeatable process. Anchor has done this enough times that you should ask him what he's doing. How many times, Andrew, have you been interviewed in the last week, Mr. Carson?
Nobody's reached out, but I'm available.
Why don't you reach out to Mr. Andrew Carson on how do you build a community? Look, there's 76 of us right now on this call, actually 77.
Okay.
Why don't you interview Andrew? He's the one organizing this thing. I'm just talking.
I definitely will be. Andrew and John, you'll be on my podcast next to episode.
Okay.
Right on. Hey, Dennis, what do you think about local authority?
Local's great, as long as it ties with building your brand or into your topic wheel, topic you care about, and ideally intersects with your lighthouse, but it doesn't have to be. So if my lighthouse is dentists, but I happen to know the local mayor, but that has nothing to do with dentists, it still builds my authority because it still builds me as the topic wheel because it's personal trust ultimately that causes people to buy. Because it has to be with the stories. So when you collect stories from other people on the topic wheel, that's what's going to, believe me, I didn't believe this for the first 20 years of my digital marketing career, and I regret not understanding this. I thought, because I built my first website 30 years ago, and I thought, wow, I should only talk about building websites if I'm building websites, right? So I didn't share that I was hanging out with Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is the guy who owns the Mavericks and does some other things, right? And I was just hanging out with Mark Cuban because he was also in Dallas. And I never thought that that would be relevant because I was just building websites. Man, I regret not pulling out the phone and making videos with Mark Cuban and all that. I mean, I took some photos of me and Mark and some of the players from the Mavericks because I had some connections. I have some connections. That's okay. So I'm cheating a little bit because I have some connections. But either way, it's things that are outside of your core area. I'm not saying just go after anyone randomly, like some parasite. You're not the paparazzi. But if you have a connection with somebody, and if it ties with your topic wheel, 6 items, 3 personal, 3 professional, absolutely, because it reinforces your brand.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You know what? I think that's great. I think we have some really good action items here. You know, I think we have the value ladder worksheet for everybody to work through. And I also love the idea of, you know, building that out and interviewing people. So if it's okay with everyone, you know, I don't want to add too much to the exercises this week. And I think this is a great place to, you know, start thinking about building out that value ladder, adding to that worksheet, and then who are you going to interview this week?
That's right. That would
Awesome.
be the best assignment.
Awesome.
Wheaties.
And I know next week, you know, I'm excited for next week. You know, let's learn more about those $1 million clients. So Dennis, and John, you know, thank you again for your time. I know you guys are on the road doing some incredible things, helping a lot of, you know, local businesses and partners. So really thank you for your time. And thank you to everybody for joining the call here today. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Keep well and stay safe. And we'll see you in the community.
You guys rock. I want to see your updates. Next week, we're going to go live into $1 million clients and show you how it's actually done. So don't miss it.